Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? This is Dorothy, and this is Dorothy's blog. This is where I come to tell my story every week or every other week. So, today I'm going to go on with my story. But first of all, I would like to say thank you to everybody. Guys, the main topic of my video today is just to appreciate you and also to share something very, very important with you. Because when things happen to us in life, it gets to a point that we start taking notes. And in the in the process of taking notes, you save yourself some problems and you get some kind of consolation. When I was going through this predicament, I mean, from the beginning, when this whole thing was just beginning and I was, running up and down, I wouldn't sleep at night. I would stop and talk to anybody I meet on the street. Everybody was uncle, everybody was auntie, everybody was madam. I was just talking to everybody on the street, trying to relate my story to them, hoping that at least one of them will think and help me. I went round the whole Maryland. I went round the whole Maryland, and I kid you not, no Nigerian looked my way. And that is sad. That is very sad. And that's why, in my own little capacity, whenever I meet with people who are just arriving in the country, maybe I bump into them, I try to help them as much as I can help them. Because when I remember how I went through it those days, I feel pity for anybody I see that is new and needs help. I don't hesitate to help them as soon as I see them, because that takes me back to what I've gone through. And I'm not the type that will pay people for what they've done. I mean, pay innocent people for what other people did. A lot of people here in the diaspora has developed a very thick skin. They no longer know how to help. They no longer know how to talk to people. They feel like, everybody's beneath them, especially the women folk. And I want you all to listen to me this evening and try to correct yourself, because if you keep doing this, it's going to get to a point that it will start affecting people. Yeah. You will see a new person who just came into the country and they will stop you on the way to talk to you and you wouldn't listen. Let me give you an example of what I did one day. And I don't know if that young man will see me any day. I was just driving on 450 and this rain was pouring, and I was close to a bus stop, and I saw this young man. Obviously, he's an African. I looked at him, I knew he was from Africa, and I saw him standing in that rain with a very light shirt. He didn't have any jacket or anything to cover himself, and the rain was pouring on him. He was waiting for the bus. It's one of these bus stops that don't have any shelter. So what I did that time, my spirit just moved me. I parked my car, I went to my trunk and took out my umbrella. I just bought that umbrella. I've not even used it at all. I brought it out, I opened it, and I gave it to the man. And I told him, you can keep it. And he was so happy. And I went back in my car and I drove away. I waved at him and drove away. And after doing that day, I felt so happy. And that's what I do every time I come across anyone that needs help. But when I think of what I went through in those days, guys, if just one Nigerian had helped me, then I wouldn't be in this predicament. If just a young person had just seen me then and said, you know what, I can help you, I wouldn't be in this. I wouldn't have lost my daughter. So part of what happened to me is caused by the people I met here when I got here. They say the people you meet when you get to a foreign country determines how much or what you're going to gain from that country. If you meet very mean people, they won't tell you, they won't even show you anything. But if you meet kind-hearted people, they're going to help you a lot. That also brings me to another story. Today, guys, I'm not saying all these things to spite anybody or to say anything, but I'm saying it because it also has to go with my story. I remember when I was living with this Nigerian couple after I moved from place to place. So I was living with this other Nigerian couple. I was renting a room upstairs in their house, and I didn't have an ID. I didn't have a bank account. I mean, I didn't have anything to open an account. I thought I did not have anything to open an account. So what I did then was, each time I go to work, when I come back and they pay me in check, I give her the check, I sign it over to her, she cashes it. Sometimes if it is 250, she'll give me 225. Sometimes she might even give me 200. She kept slashing my paycheck, and at the end of the month, I'll still pay her rent. But each time I give her a check, she would just slice it up. And this happened until I got tired. And one day I was asking her, just jokingly, I said, how can I open an account in America? She said, oh, don't try it. Oh. If you try it, you're going to be caught by the police and they will deport you. So one day something happened. I gave her some money and she didn't give me that money. She told me she would give me, she borrowed it, she would give me. And I kept waiting for that money for 1 week, 2 weeks. The second paycheck came, I had to give it to her, plus the first one that she already had. So it became 2 checks with her. And when she finally paid me, she took over $100 from both check. I mean, both check combined, she took about $100 and gave me the remaining. And that day I was so upset, and I said, you know what? I'm going to face the demon. So I went into the house, I got dressed, and I went straight to Chevy Chase Bank. This Chevy Chase Bank is the one in near the post office in Lago on 202. So I went to that Chevy Chase Bank, and I told them I wanted to open an account. And this man asked me, what do I have? What form ID do I have? I had my valid passport and visa inside. I said, well, I have my passport. He said, okay, come on in. So he took my passport. If you opened your account during that time, you know that they always take your passport to the inner office. So she took my passport and went to the inner office. So I sat down there and I was just waiting and waiting. Guys, this took me over 45 minutes. So when I looked and the man was not forthcoming, I became scared. I said, maybe this person is going to call the police for me. That was briefly when I just had my baby. When they took this baby, that was when this happened. So she said, I was thinking, I said, what if this people are calling the police? What if they are going to everything was running in my head. And you know what I did? I got up. I was about to run out of the store, out of the bank. So I got up, I walked towards the door, and just trying to open the door, the man said, ma'am, are you leaving? And I turned around and I didn't know what to say to him. My body was shaking, my hands were shaking. He said, oh, I've finished everything. This is your passport, this is your temporary checks, and this is everything. And I couldn't believe that I just opened a bank account. I couldn't believe. So I quickly went to the house. I got the check. Because I didn't take that check. That was like the day I was paid for the 3rd week. So I think I didn't take that check to the bank. So I went home and took it, and I went and cashed it and put it in my account. It was like magic to me. I was so excited. I said, oh, they didn't have to do anything to me. So the following week, this lady expected me to give her my check as usual. And I told her I have opened an account. And that was where the fight started. The very next week, she told me to move out of her house. And that was how I left that place. So why am I bringing this here? I'm bringing it because so many times people come to us for help and we throw them away. I'm so happy that I finally found favor in my audience here. I found favor because, like I told you before, I've been telling this story for a long time, since 2017. And each time I talk, I just put it there and nobody's watching it. Nobody watches it. The video that really went viral for me, not viral, I got like 200 views that time. That video was when I was talking about my story. There was a part, which I don't want to say here, that I said, and that got me into trouble too. And that was when about 200 people watched my video. And they won't even make a comment. I was trying to, get the awareness of people that can watch this and help me. I was just hoping that someone will watch my video and, try to help me. But no help came whatsoever up until the 30th of November, 2025. I told you that story already last week. That was when people started watching and and watching. And I really want to say thank you to you all. Because as a matter of fact, maybe you don't know what you've done. You don't know what you really have done. You may not understand, but I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what you've done. This story has gone so far that it will eventually get to where someone will help me out. I am praying for that. I'm seriously asking God to push this story till it gets to a human rights activist, till it gets to someone who can really come out and take care of this issue. Because part of my problem in doing this thing is that maybe it's going to cost me a lot. But when the story goes further to where it's supposed to get to, I will get the help that I deserve. And so I just want to say thank you again to everyone watching this video. Thank you for sharing my videos. Thank you for everything you do. Last week, that was yesterday, this lovely man analyzed my video. I think it's called Uncle Ben or Mr. Ben. I'm going to try to, find his name and maybe put his name somewhere here. He analyzed my video and he did a great job at it. There was nothing like cussing me out and calling me a fool and calling me an idiot. He did it perfectly well. If you're going to take somebody's life story to talk about, you should just use empathy, because no one is above mistakes. I already admitted I made a lot of mistakes, but people come to watch my videos and they still insult me, call me a fool, call me all kinds of things. And it hurts me because no matter how hard my heart is, because before coming out, I try to, get a tough heart. No matter how tough I think I am, certain things still break me up when I hear them. But I cannot control how you people talk. But all I want you to know is that my aim of coming out here is to get justice for my daughter. It's for the right person to watch it and know what to do. So please don't mess up that dream that I have. Just allow this video to flow. If you want to use my video, that's fine. But please be respectful with the content in the video. And don't keep asking me if this is real. Guys, this is me. This is my true life story. I'm not going to quote anything. I'm not going to make anything sweet. I promised you from the beginning that all my story is going to be true and true. And I have no choice. I have no choice but to keep it that way. So if you're still asking if this is real, yes, this is real. This is real. This is a true life story of a woman. This is me. So that brings me to the topic of the day. In 2005, I got home one day from work and I just, how you just become depressed. I got back that day and I couldn't just hold myself anymore. I was in tears. I was so, I refused to eat dinner. I had food, but I refused to eat that day. I was just troubled because of my child. So out of that pain and tears, I just sat down. I was scrolling on my phone and I saw this ad by, I don't know, I think it's poetry something. I've forgotten the name of this company. And they were saying, write a poem, and if you're lucky, we'll choose your poem and put it in a how do I put it? Yeah, put it in a book. Your poem is going to be featured in the book with other people's poems if you make it to the I think they said the auditor's list. So I sat down that night and I wrote this poem. And you know why this poem is very important to me today? Is because this poem is exactly where I am today. This poem is just where I am today, a step to the final. But this, at least, it is a prediction to where I am today. So that night, I stood up, I went to my table, I took my pen, and I went. I took some. I think I had a book in my hand or so, because I didn't have a table then. I had a book or something. So I put my book and I took a pen and I started writing. And I wrote this poem. This poem is in the collection of a book called. It's a book called Colors of Life. My poem is on the first page. So this is a book called Colors of Life. So after writing that poem that night, I sent it to them, and a few weeks later, they called me and they said, "Oh, your poem made it to editor's list. And I was excited. And few more weeks later, um, someone else called me and said, would you like to come and read your poem in a gathering in Chicago? I was all excited. I said, yes, I will go. I checked, and I checked for the, what is it called? Um, the how much it will cost me and everything. I said, well, I can still manage. I think it was around 250 going and coming, just buying tickets and feeding. Things were very good those days. So I said, yeah, I can do this, and I got myself ready to go. Few days to that time, I don't know where this sickness came from. It struck me down. This sickness struck me down, so I was never able to go and read my poem to the audience. But I still kept this book, and I still kept looking at it. And I'm going to read this book, and I'm going to show you that this book predicted where I am today in this case. So let's go. I have to get my glasses. So the title of the poem is Be Still. I'm sorry, my hair is all over the place. The title of the poem is Be Still, and it is written by Dorothy Nkechinyere Ijeoma. You can see my name at the bottom. I'm going to put that page on the video. So in that poem, I said, like a baby without a mother, I sat all day long alone, dirty and hungry, wishing and looking up to every mother that walked through the door. I stretched out my hands, but the more I do, the more I am ignored. I cried, I screamed, jumped, but nothing seemed to work. Just then, I realized that maybe I was expecting too much. So I stopped crying, I cleaned up my face, and gave everybody that walked through the door the biggest smile I had. Just then. Can you see that? Just then, a woman looked down at me and picked me up. She cleaned me up, and she sat me on her laps. And she said to me, "Be still, I am here now." So what do you think? The woman said to me, so this poem is just a short story I wrote. I said I was sitting in this place. It's like a setting of a place where children go and parents are expected to pick them up. So I in that poem, I was like a child waiting for their mother to come pick them up. And I sat down there, and all mothers were coming to pick up their children, and nobody came to pick me up. So I was stretching my hands to make sure they see me, but they didn't see me. So at a point, I said, oh, maybe I'm asking too much. Maybe I need to slow down. And I did. And as soon as I did, a woman just walked in. She saw me, she looked down at me, and she picked me up and cleaned me, sat me on her lap, and said, "Be still, I am here now." And that is where I am right now. That is where I am right now in the story. Guys, I've been crying since 2017. 2017. I've been crying since 2017, going everywhere. Though I started crying from 2003, but I started crying online since 2017, and nobody will listen to me. Nobody will listen to me. I will tell my story and do all I can do. Nobody was listening until I looked at myself on that 30th of November. And I said, maybe I'm asking too much. Let me talk to the master. Let me talk to my father. Let me talk to my creator. And I sat down in my room, and I cried, and I asked God for favor. And God gave me the favor of making my video go viral. You know why I need this video to go viral? It's because I need people to hear it. And that simple prayer I prayed that day looks like when this little girl in this video said, maybe, in the poem, said, maybe I'm asking too much. And she calmed herself down until a mother came and picked her up and cleaned her up and said to her, "Be still, Mommy's here now." So guys, this brings me to the point I'm trying to make. I want you all to know that I appreciate you, and that I feel like right now I'm like that child in my poem. And you all are here to tell me to be still, that you are here for me. And I pray that you hold my hands and hold my shoulder and help me in this trip, because it's going to get messy at a point. But I believe that with your support, I'll be fine. So, that being said, I just wanted to introduce this poem to you. This is what I thought, I prayed for, and it happened. I want you to know that no matter what you're going through, there's a time that you just have to sit down and strategize. You just have to sit down and say, okay, what am I not doing right? What am I doing right? What am I not doing right? And at that point, you'll be able to see clearly and know how to follow. But when you keep shouting and shouting and shouting, nobody's going to listen to you. Nobody's going to hear you. I remember that night when I was crying, my spirit said, go and get a shower, go and dress up, do this and do that. And I followed. And the rest is history. So, this is where I'm going to end it here today. But I want you to know that don't give up. Nothing is ever done without God's permission. And I also want you to please keep doing the good job of sharing this videos. Share them. I want it to get to the end of the world. I want it to get to the person that will actually get up and say, hey girl, I'm here for you. Thank you so much for watching me this evening. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, this is Dorothy, and this is my story.